Hey, it's Mike from The Mike Wagner Show. Thanks for tuning in to The Mike Wagner Show on Anchor FM. If you're interested in sponsoring my show, you can send me an email to themikewagnershow@gmail.com, or you could also donate to the podcast. Just go to the Donate Listen site, and you can also donate whatever you like. Anchor is the easiest way to make a podcast. For those who are interested, Anchor can give you everything you need in one place for free, which you can use right from your phone or computer. We got creation tools, allows you to record and edit podcasts so it sounds great, and they'll distribute the podcast for you so it can be heard everywhere. Spotify, Apple, Google, many more. And you can make money from the podcast with no minimum listenership. So download the Anchor app for free or go to Anchor FM to get started.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show brings you famous celebrities and amazing people from all over the world. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. So sit back and relax and enjoy the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also, check our Facebook page, Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Also on Anchor FM, and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on YouTube. And you can also take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're here with a wonderful writer who is also a ballet teacher, financial writer, and she has a book called What Happened in the Cove, published by Smashwords and Lulu, to be released on September 18th. She does a lot of things. She was an American writer who grew up surrounded by animals and oil in West Texas, moved to Arizona, still lives with her husband, children. She was a ballet teacher, financial writer for many years. After going independent, she writes fiction while surrounded by parrots, guinea pigs, and other lovely things. Her stories span many genres, often include non-traditional characters. Also has a soft spot for small YouTube gamers, and Route 66, while the sister Harley Sin is a well-known cosplayer. So we'll find out more. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, live from beautiful Arizona, the very talented author, A.L. Walker, or best known as Andrea Walker. Andrea, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Good afternoon to you, too. Thank you.
All right. So you're the author of What Happened in the Cove, published by Smashwords and Lulu, to be released September 18th. You grew up in West Texas, now you're in Arizona. You've been a ballet teacher, financial writer for many years, and you're writing fiction while you're surrounded by parrots, guinea pigs, and many more. A number of her works include many genres, often non-traditional characters. But before we get into all of that, including a book, tell us how I got started.
Oh, started writing? Well, I've been writing most of my life, just mostly for myself. I wrote a lot of fan fiction when I was a teenager, young adult. And after working for financial and other people for a long time, I decided I wanted to actually write something and put it out there instead of just in my head or for fun. So that was still a lot of fun, though.
Uh-huh. And also, too, you had, you grew up in, West Texas as well, too, and, moved to Arizona. Now, was this where your husband got transferred, by your job, or do you have family out there, or, what were some of the reasons moving to Arizona?
Well, I actually wanted to go to college where my mother went to college at Arizona State. So that was my main reason for coming to Arizona. And once I got here, didn't want to leave. It's beautiful, especially in the winter.
And of course, too, basically, small parrots have been a hobby. You dance, enjoy video games of many things. So you watch a lot of small YouTube channels on gaming. So what are some of the gaming channels that you recommend to people?
Well, definitely I would go with Ren Dog. He's great. He's funny. He does mostly Minecraft, but it's just absolutely hilarious, his little stories and everything else. Another one I watch a lot is Grim Optimus and Sassy and Fade Alchemist. They're all just really fun to watch, different personalities. Some of them really loud, some of them really quiet. But it's great fun, so.
And of course, you've got your parents involved as well too, your guinea pigs, and maybe you wish they kind of play games with you as well too. And how many of those animals do you have in a house?
Well, right now I have 3 birds. I have 2 cockatiels and a conure. And I also have, as mentioned, the 2 guinea pigs. I have a cat. I have a tank full of fish, mostly Oscar fish, big, huge ones.
Mm-hmm. And it's just amazing too. And of course, you have and of course your sister Harleyson is a well-known cosplayer. So what is cosplayer?
Basically somebody who takes on a costume of usually a famous character of some sort, sometimes not so famous. In the case of my sister, she usually does Harley Quinn. And the primary thing that she likes to do is go around to hospitals or work with other nonprofits to visit children or disabled people and help them out by giving them a visit.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you later became a writer and everything else. And some of these non-traditional characters have become an influence. We'll talk about your book, What Happened in the Cove. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking for a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. You can also check our Facebook page, Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and Anchor FM. You can also watch the Mike Wagner Show on YouTube and subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Also take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're here with A.O. Walker, the author of What Happened in a Cove, published by Smashwords and Lulu. Before we get to your book, and what was the one precise moment that influenced you into writing, especially into this book?
Oh, the main thing is I was writing kind of at work, honestly, and I had a couple of people read it, and they're like, oh, this is really good. You really should do more, and it got me really excited about it, and I was like, wanted to challenge myself. Can I actually write a whole book? And that was a challenge. It took about 8 months total, so.
8 months total? That is amazing. What are some of the other genres you've written as well?
I actually have written a lot of nonfiction. You can find a lot of my works, for instance, on medium.com. So I like to write, especially, as you mentioned, about the Route 66. So I had a lot of great experiences when I was a kid on family travels. And honestly, when my father died, I didn't know that much about his past life. He didn't like to talk about his childhood. And I found out later at the funeral that the reason was he was actually a Dust Bowl kid. He actually did go through the whole thing, just like you've read in Grapes of Wrath, excuse me. And they would actually had to try to go to California, and they were refused and turned back and everything else. So once I discovered all that, we went on a major Route 66 trip and really paid attention to all the history, not just the history from the 50s and 60s, but all the way back to the 20s and 30s.
And what's the reason for taking the route as well, too, besides learning about history?
Well, it's awesome. It's got all sorts of roadside attractions and fun things. It's just a great way to interact with the United States of America. A lot of people want to go travel foreign, but there's so much here just to visit. It's great. Matter of fact, I was surprised at how many people from overseas were also doing the Route 66 because of the movie Cars and such.
Uh-huh.
It's a great way to get in touch with America.
and that was a great cartoon as well, too, influencing Route 66 as well, too. And also, growing up, you did some writing and just all kinds of things. Who are your favorite authors and writers at the time as well, too? And maybe some TV shows or maybe some actors and actresses. Who are some of the influences, like in pop culture, that consider your favorites?
Definitely writers such as R.A. Salvatore, who does a lot of fantasy. I read a lot of fantasy when I was a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get enough of the Dungeons and Dragons. So, Margaret Weiss, Tracy Hickman's another one that I favorite of mine. Of course, I liked all the horror too, and so Stephen King and all those guys.
Oh, it's just amazing, too. And, of course, we'll talk about your book as well, too. What Happened in the Cove is the first of a trilogy. And It'll be coming out September 18th, and some say the 19th. And it's a sci-fi urban fantasy romance for young adults and new adults. You can just tell us a little bit about the book.
Basically, it's a matched genre. That's one of the reasons I decided to self-publish, is it doesn't stick to the regular traditional genres. It is science fiction, fantasy, romance. To put it into a very short summary, it would basically be girl meets alien. So there's a little bit more drama than that.
Mm-hmm.
But,
that is something, too. And, of course, you talk about Bria escaping from her abusive past. Light in the States was empty and everything. And can you relate to someone's experience or know someone that has that experience? And, of course, resembling an exotic bird. And maybe it's just some of the things you had drawn up, like, say, from your past, someone else's past. And, how did that story come about for you?
Yeah, we definitely we had family members that had gone through an abusive situation. I don't like to talk too much about it to respect their privacy, but it definitely, a lot of the background situations in the book were based on having to deal with that and having to help them out at a young age. I was about 15 when we went through that.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you can talk about more as well, too. So, feel free to do so.
Certainly. And also the book is inspired a lot by the many times that I've gone to carnivals and roadside attractions, abandoned places. So, as mentioned, this is a trilogy. The carnival that is featured in the first book, it's an abandoned carnival. But later we'll be getting into even more carnivals. There's a carnival theme throughout all three books in the trilogy. And a lot of the places in the book are inspired by that, as well as just that whole feel of Pulp Fiction and old time, attractions and things like the freak shows and such in the past.
Mm-hmm. And also you talked about a trilogy, and are you currently working on the second? And you can tell us about that.
Yes, I'm definitely working on the second novel. It picks off at the end of the first one. It's almost not a standalone. You probably could read it as a standalone, but it definitely picks up from the other and follows the adventures of the son of the couple in the book. So,
mm-hmm. and of course, and of course, what's the plan? The third one as well, too. So,
the third one goes off into outer space, and we actually end up on a different planet altogether.
Almost sounds like the Route 66 you're going to.
Kind of, yeah. Definitely, there's a lot of alien Route 66. You do pass through Roswell in that area, so the entire Roswell is so fun. It's full of nothing but little green aliens. They're everywhere that I can see.
Oh my goodness! And what do you consider your favorite city or town going through Route 66?
Oh my goodness, probably Tucumcari. The old stop in Tucumcari. It's just a wonderful, tiny little town. It's got some hotels directly from the 50s and 60s that they've tried to keep as authentic as possible. There's a great little Mexican restaurant there. There's the best food and probably the best service I've ever gotten. We had a party of 8 when we were there, and the server, also the owner, took all of our orders without writing anything down. He didn't even have a book with him or a pad of paper with him. And this is 8 people, all of them with different, little things. We don't sauce. We do want cheese, extra cheese. And this guy came back and he had everything perfectly right. It was just absolutely amazing. Never seen anything like it in my life.
I've never heard that whatsoever, just not writing things down and just having an amazing memory. And what are some of the other cities that you enjoyed along your Route 66?
Well, yeah, of course it starts in Chicago, goes all the way to Santa Monica. So you're passing through so much. We got to see the St. Louis Arch, for instance, and we went through Oklahoma. We went to the Blue Whale. There's a park there with it. Old Blue Whale was built in the 40s, 50s, and it's just an old children's park. It kind of takes you back in time, back before playground equipment was all plastic and all that.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, and Amarillo, of course, passed through Amarillo, Texas. That was a lot of fun. Texas, when you live there, if you live in one place, it's so big, you never get a chance to see it all. So, I finally got to see Amarillo. Of course, we had to play the Route 66 songs the whole time we were on the road. Right,
exactly. Just like what happened in the Cove. And we're going to just talk a little bit more about that along with some other things. Listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs at below the competition rate. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on themikewagnershow.com. You can check our Facebook page, facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can download and listen on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, and also on iHeartRadio, as well as the Anchor FM. And you can watch the Mike Wagner Show on YouTube, subscribe, and also take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. We're here with Andrea Walker, or goes by the name of A.L. Walker, the author of What Happened in the Cove, published by Smashwords and Lulu, to be released on September 18th. And of course, it was talking about a genre matchup, sci-fi, urban fantasy romance. The first book revolves around a suicidal Earth girl who meets an alien who has escaped from less than ideal circumstances. And you sometimes think it's like, how could someone meet an alien under less than ideal? So it's like, I guess I have to say is that, how did those two just happen to meet to start things off?
Yeah, not to give too much away. Basically, in the beginning, Bria's trying to basically run away from home and thought maybe I should just do myself in. And in the middle of it, she's being tracked by somebody else. And basically, the alien jumps in to save her. So the alien, as mentioned, his name is Frain. He actually had escaped from his own abusive situation, just in the same way, was just trying to basically take himself out by just flying off into space. And instead of just flying off and, dying eventually of lack of oxygen or whatever, he ended up crash landing not too far away where she ended up with him. So
It sounds like they're both trying to get away from both planets. That's what it sounds like. And of course, everybody can read the book as well, too. And of course, you have some early inspiration from numerous sources like Stephen King, Anne McCaffrey, Mad Magazine, old Sears catalogs. You can just tell us some about those other inspirations.
Yeah, I used to read anything and everything. Well, still actually read anything and everything, from shampoo bottles to anything laying around. Then the old Sears catalogs, which can actually be really fascinating because they have equipment that you've never heard of in your life. So
oh, my.
What's a tongue scraper? Why would you need such anything? And they don't look like the toothbrush things. They were actually metal jawed things. It was horror almost. So you get some great ideas looking at those magazines. I also was inspired a lot by, historical stuff like Laura Ingalls. Everybody read that when they were a kid, but I loved anything that contained outdoors and survival. Jim Kilgard books, for instance, always featured a man with a dog, and they were, surviving the wilderness by themselves, which definitely lended some influence to this book. So I used to want to be one of those, remote hikers until I realized just how hard it was.
Yeah, it's amazing as well, too. Besides R.A. Salvatore and Stephen King and Anne McCaffrey, who are some of the other writers that have influenced your writing style?
Oh, there's so many. I mean, I've read so many things. It's hard to even pin, all the way from really old science fiction and Richard Matheson and all those guys, Heinlein, Isaac Asimov, of course, all the way up to more pulp fiction stuff, or more what they would call trash, books, throwaway books, such as the ones by V.C. Andrews and other influences. Piers Anthony's a big one with his Zantz books. It was definitely, my sister actually had conversations with him by letter for quite a number of years.
That is amazing. What did you consider your favorite project, and what's the most challenging among your books and projects?
The most challenging probably was writing about some of the stuff with the Route 66, because every time I write about, my childhood or getting close to my dad, I have a tendency to start crying, and it's like I have to stop writing because I can't see the paper anymore.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, that's probably the hardest, yeah.
And outside of family members, name one entity that supported your commitment to be a published author.
Definitely Jennifer Perry. She's a great mentor. She has a book out, just a little thin book about how to publish books. I ran into her on Fiverr, kind of needed a sell sheet, and instead of just, a one-time transaction, she's become one of my best friends as far as writing is concerned. She has just so many great ideas and just really positive. You can do it and get out there and here's how. So it definitely is a huge influence on me.
And did you learn anything during the writing of your recent book?
Definitely. I had to learn all sorts of fun new stuff. For instance, in one part of it, there's an injury and somebody needs to get healed. It's like, well, how do you do that if you can't go to doctors or you can't seek any medical help? You can't just walk into a pharmacy and buy pills. So I had to, what do you do when you're in the situation? I had a good editor friend of mine point out that there's a lot of places that you can get like antibiotic medications without actually going through a doctor. I don't want to give too much away how that actually resolves, but we'll just say there is ways.
Uh-huh. And of course, do you believe more in the traditional medicine or more the holistic type of medicine or alternative?
Well, in this particular case, it's more of the actually prescription medications, because coming from an entirely different planet, you're not going to know what's good and what's bad. And Bria also wouldn't have been in this situation. She could have learned any of that either. So they have to kind of learn all of it on their own. So it's easier for them to do that than to try to figure out, like, if you're going to go figure out what plants aren't poisonous, that means somebody has to test them.
Mm-hmm.
And that means somebody has to actually eat it or put it in their mouth.
That's amazing. Now, if Bria were to live in today's society, how would she have handled herself, or what kind of problems she would have encountered, and how would she have solved them?
I'm not sure what you mean.
No, but I'm talking about it. You wrote about Bria, escaping from
Mm-hmm.
abusive past and being abducted by an alien. It's like, if she were still today, it's like, how could she have handled her problems?
Yeah, there would be different, more modern problems. This one's set back a little bit, probably about 25 years ago. So we don't have to worry about cell phones or any of that, which obviously that's a great way to learn now.
Mm-hmm.
Mobile phones are awesome, but I learned how to fix my own main electrical fuse using YouTube.
There you go, exactly. And of course, the book, What Happened in the Cove, to be released September 18th, published by Smashwords and Lulu. How can people get a hold of the book?
Well, you can definitely visit either one of those sites and just look up my name or the book title, but I also have a website. It's at AndreaWalkerFinn.com. The Finn is Fin, as in Finis.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Okay. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Oh, in my writing career?
Yes.
Well, besides Jennifer Perry, definitely my family members have been very supportive. My sister is a very big influence. She's pushed me to go do this and not just do it for myself. She's like, you got to come out here and do it with me. So, and just Tim Fay is a really important influence. He's got an interesting book coming out called Suburbanese. He was really helpful for me because we actually worked together at the corporation that I worked at, and he's part of what really encouraged me to get out there and that I can do it. You can write that book. If I can write it, anybody can write it.
That is amazing. What's the best advice you can give to any writers?
Any writers, definitely just sit down and do it. You won't know until you try. Mm-hmm. And definitely don't ever turn down help. You never know who you're going to meet, who's going to help you so much. So there's so much marketing and networking, you've got to get out there and learn how, and you'd be surprised at who knows what. I've gotten a lot of good advice. I had somebody, for instance, that was part of a book publishing group that was like, you need to try this particular app. You'll get a lot of followers this way. And sure enough, here I am. I got an app on Twitter. I've got almost 1,000 followers now. So if it wasn't for her just mentioning that offhand, I would have never known.
That is amazing too. And of course, just once again, I'd like to thank you for your time, Andrea, for being on the program. You've been fantastic. Keep us up to date. Looking for having you on again soon. Once again, tell us about your upcoming projects, website, how do people contact you, and how do people purchase a book, What Happened in the Cave?
They can purchase it at my website at AndreaWalkerFinn.com. You can also go and find me on Facebook or Twitter. Facebook's author A.L. Walker. Twitter would be A.W. Copelia, like the dance, Copelia.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also find my book on Lulu and Smashwords. And you can always just contact me on my website. I'll be glad to talk to anybody.
Sounds great. Okay, Andrea, just want to say thank you very much for your time. Be fantastic. Looking forward to your book coming up September 18th. And do us a favor, keep us up to date. Look forward to having you on again soon.
All right. Thank you very much. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. Also, become a sponsor of the program or donate today at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again tomorrow for another episode of The Mike Wagner Show.